you so much for taking a moment to tune in to the Empowered Podcast. This is Emily Arth. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I work as a psychotherapist, and I am the owner of my private practice, which is called Empowered Life LLC, where I work with children, adolescents, and adults, primarily people suffering from trauma-related disorders. And I facilitate group work. I am a community advocate. I help train and elevate other professionals in my field. I do many things. And so I am located right smack dab in the heartland of the USA, Columbia, Missouri. And my goal with this podcast is to use my voice to facilitate heart healing as far as I can possibly reach. So today, what I wanted to talk to you about is crisis and this idea of crisis, because we are currently facing crisis. But before I start talking about crisis, I wanted to just kind of define crisis a little bit so that we know what we're talking about. So just quickly, the definition defines crisis as a time of intense difficulty, trouble, or danger. In terms of disease, it's defined as the turning point of a disease when an important change takes place, indicating either recovery or death. Sounds serious. Well, we are in a mental health crisis right now, but I don't even prefer to call it a mental health crisis because I think that might lead you to believe that it's all about your head, when the truth is it's even more about our hearts. It's actually a scientific fact. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Heart Math. If you haven't heard of Heart Math, they're a pretty cool organization. They've existed for over 25 years, and they kind of do more of the science end behind some of the more like woo-woo concepts that we hear, right? Like high vibes. Well, we actually emit vibes. And so Heart Math studies the science of subtle energy that's going on in our bodies. And something that they discovered is that our hearts actually send more messages to our brain and our body than our brain sends to our whole body. So we live in this culture that very much leads us to believe that the head's in charge and it's all about the head and mental health is all about the head. But mental health is all about the connection between the head and the heart. And a big reason that we're seeing so much crisis today is because we are more disconnected in our head-heart region than we probably have been in a very long time, which is kind of paradoxical because when we look at how we're using technology and social media and things like that, in a superficial way, that might lead you to believe that we are more connected than we've ever been. So in a sense, we have more access than we've ever had, but when it comes to our own internal connection, that's being lost at a pretty rapid rate. And that's resulting in serious levels of mental illness in our society. I think, again, when we hear this idea of mental health crisis, what does that mean? Well, what that means is that the United States, of all the countries in the world, is ranked the third most depressed and anxious country in the world. And we are the second most substance abusing country in the world. So we're very anxious, we're very unhappy, and we're very numb. And all of those things are a recipe for disconnection. And that continues to drive us into greater and greater disconnection. And to me, despite living in this country that has so many riches and so many privileges on so many levels, only 40%, about 40% of people who suffer from symptoms of mental illness in our country will ever seek help. And that's very sad to me. And it's stigma that is largely driving this disconnection from care. This idea that I should be able to do this on my own. I should know how to figure this out. I shouldn't ever feel bad. I shouldn't ever encounter an obstacle in my life that I don't have the answer for. And when we say those things out loud, they don't seem very fair because every other area of our life, those things don't hold up. You know, I work with kids and adolescents who will be having shame about asking questions in class and things like that. And I say to them, are you the teacher or the student? And they smile and they say, I'm the student. And I say, right. That's why you're not the teacher, because you're the student. If you knew all of the answers, you would be the teacher. That's just the way it works. Well, the same thing with illness, whether, it's in our mind, our heart, our body. If we don't know the nature of illness, if we don't know how to navigate through illness, we need people to help us who do know how to navigate through those things. If I were to tell you that you were in a cardiac crisis, that would probably scare you, especially if I was a heart specialist. An MD telling you were in cardiac crisis. But that's what I'm telling you. We're in right now as a country. We're in cardiac crisis. It's a serious situation. And it's killing people. The suicide rate is high. People who aren't killing themselves, there are many people thinking of killing themselves. And then of the people who aren't thinking of killing themselves, there are many people just suffering silently, not achieving their greatest good, their highest goals in life, and just kind of getting by. And so my goal through my work, individually, groups, publicly, my goal is to facilitate healing because I want everyone to be the brightest, most authentic, unique, shining diamond that you can each individually be. And if you are someone out there today who's feeling held back by the stigma surrounding mental health and mental illness, I am telling you that you are not alone. I am telling you that this is a circle, that I, as a mental health provider, am also a receiver of this type of help. It hasn't ended. I go in and out of my need for help in this area. So you're not alone. Hope is a real thing. Help is possible. Recovery is real. So please feel free to reach out to me today or to any other healing professional that could help you on this journey, whoever that may be. I think there are many people who could help you on this journey. If you think I could help you, please check out my website. It's MLife Counseling. It's EMLIFE counseling.com. Feel free to email me. My email is earth@mlifecounseling.com. And thank you again today for tuning in. My goal with this podcast is to give you just brief snippets that fit into your lifestyle. I know you all have busy lifestyles that can give you a little bit more information that can empower you in little ways to become the best version of yourself, because I really do love you all and I love this world and I have a lot of hope in the future of our planet. So if you enjoyed this podcast today, please do hit the like button. If this content is valuable to you, please do subscribe. And until next time, I am sending positive vibrations in your direction always. Thank you so much. Be well.